It's Ronaldo. It's 2 for Real Madrid. There's Ronaldo. There's the hat-trick. It's Ronaldo. It's 2 for Real Madrid. There's Ronaldo. There's the hat-trick.
Another hat-trick.
I reckon he's got a future in the game.
Do you think so? Do you think he'll go far?
Well, let's hope he's got quite a bit of future, because you know he's obviously in his 30s now, but he's still delivering phenomenal performances like this on the big occasion when it really counts.
Mentally, he's just steely. He goes into the big occasions believing that he's the man and demanding the responsibility. And the biggest and best players on the planet who do it consistently, him, Messi especially, they want that. They thrive off that responsibility. And there's a lot of players that come into this type of cauldron of an atmosphere who shrink, who don't have the bottle sometimes to perform and take that on their shoulders. He wants that.
Well, it showed that tonight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid didn't fancy it tonight. It was a very untypical Atletico performance, wasn't it? Normally they're dogged, they work hard, they're determined. They didn't make a chance in the second half. Really poor performance by them. But Real were fantastic. I thought they look a much stronger outfit than they were last year. I thought Toni Kroos and Luka Modric were fantastic yet again, control the game. And when you've got that man up front, when you know what one chance it's in the back of the net, you know,
this is done, isn't it? There's no way back for Atletico, surely, is
this is done for me. I thought there were battle wounds from before, from the previous 2 finals. It became very apparent here. They looked fearful. They looked like a team that were beaten almost before the game had started. And Simeone, for me, normally his team is dogged. Their intensity is always up here, but today they didn't even put a tackle in. And they played 2. They had more or less 2 up front. Griezmann played up front alongside Gamero. Normally they pack the midfield. They got overrun in there. Toni Kroos and Modric and Isco popping up. They absolutely put a clinic on today. They tortured this.
They looked as if they didn't have a plan at times, didn't they? You know, Griezmann didn't run in behind. He didn't try and stretch the Real Madrid defence. They didn't do anything. Everything was coming towards the ball, just giving Real Madrid the ball back all the time, and that's what disappointed me.
What a performance! Even appreciated by Martin Atkinson, who gave him the match ball. He's had a few of those. He must need a bigger house to keep them all in, I would imagine. But phenomenal performance, not for the first time, and I doubt very much whether it will be the last. It's hard to get away from him, isn't it? When you watch Real Madrid, he's so dominant in their performances.
Yeah, and even see here, when there's an opportunity arising in the box, his movement is that of a number 9. He's naturally by trade a winger, but his movement, he's just evolved into almost like a stroke number 9, where his movement just takes defenders out of the game. He makes 2 or 3 movements just to get on the ball, and that's why he gets so many opportunities, because he's never ever still. He doesn't stand still in the box, always sniffing out opportunities.
Obviously we've not talked about other Real Madrid players, but overall it was a very strong team performance
I
as well.
thought it was a real dominating performance. I've seen them a lot this year, as you know, live, and I thought this was one of the best performances I've seen. We're talking about a semi-final game, aren't we? You know, a high-pressure game. Mentally, you have to be strong, and it was like a walk in the park for them. I expected it to be a lot closer. I think we all expected Atletico to score goals with their firing line, and the big players really turned up today. And in Atletico's, I think that's the difference. When you're talking about Griezmann being a £100 million player, well, he didn't do anything today, did he? He did not do anything, so he hasn't put himself in the shot window at all. You know, if he's worth 100, well, Ronnie's worth 200, isn't he? At 32. I mean, it's just.
Well, I'm not sure.
But I thought
anyone's going to pay that at that age.
But I thought Toni Kroos was magnificent.
Yeah, he was.
I thought Luka Modric won.
Isco.
Yeah, I thought they were. The movement, their energy, their work levels was really strong today. And as I said before, I think they're a much better outfit than they were last year.
Let's start with the second half goals. Ronaldo's second, Real Madrid's second, and what a superb strike.
Yeah, it was amazing play, wasn't it? This is Toni Kroos, loads of time, good movement by Modric, opened the space up for Benzema. And this was Godin and Savic not talking to each other. Benzema shows great strength to knock Godin off, but once that falls to him, it's only going in one place, isn't it? If that was Benzema, it might have gone over the bar, because he seems to not have that little bit of fortune, but waited for it and didn't snatch at it. And once it comes off his foot, it's like a rocket. Flies past Oblak and he can't do anything about it.
When it falls there, there's only one outcome. That's the thing. There's one outcome. Just a truly devastating finisher.
You can tell it a really great goal scorer, because when it falls to him, even though that's not actually a really easy chance, you kind of just know he's going to bash it in.
Well, I think that's the thing. Every time he gets the chance, you know, I mentioned Benzema because he has 2 or 3 chances and snatches at things, and he's the proper number 9. Where if anything falls to Ronaldo, you just know it's going on target.
And the third goal
invariably
as well.
it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, and you watch his movement, he just goes in here really, and it's from another cross, which you mentioned before the game, but counter-attack, win the ball. Atletico there trying to search for a goal, and look at the 4 players marauding forward. Great run on the outside. Casemiro does great here, drags the players into the front post, over, and then there he is.
It's amazing how it does fall to him so frequently. But that's good movement. That's gambling on where the ball's going to go, and he does it here. You watch, little sprint.
Yeah. And he doesn't get a lot of power on, does he? But he just waits for Oblak to fall down to his right. If anything, I think it goes through Stefan Savic's legs as he's trying to get across. But sometimes he gets a bit of fortune, doesn't it? But he scores that many goals, and it was great to see him get his hat-trick. It really was, because when we talk about his competition and we talk about, you know, teams of this ilk, you know, this very famous Real Madrid side, for him being the star man, the world player of the year, to stand up yet again and say, you know what, I'm better than all you.
There was an element of controversy about his first goal in the first half. It was early in the game. It's always important, the first goal. Steve, you thought it was offside. Rio, you didn't. We talked about the interference.
I just think this movement here, if you're a defender and you see Ronaldo in an offside position, they've got a lovely back line, Atletico Madrid, and once he starts moving, that is, for me, is offside. I'm sorry. And as soon as he ventures towards the ball here, that's I think it's offside. I think it's easy.
I think if he's standing in front of the defenders when that first ball comes in, I think the linesman gives it offside. But I think he's come from behind.
It doesn't affect the play.
I don't think he affects the man that heads the ball, because I don't think he sees him. That's my only.
But if you're a centre defender, Rio, which you are, and you were, sorry, you wouldn't like a centre forward to be standing there, would you? You've got a nice line with all your team here, and he's standing there.
Ruud van Nistelrooy do that all the time. Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then the second phase come on side.
With the current law, though, you can do that. You can take the chance as long as it doesn't go to you, or you interfere with anyone.
Once the ball comes within a metre of Ronaldo, once the ball gets crossed in and it's in his vicinity, that flag has to go up. He was very fortunate against Bayern.
Here it is again.
Yeah.
I think he's behind Savic there. He's behind Savic. You can't really see him there, so I think he's offside.
He's not impeding in any way.
He's not interfering with the football.
No, I know. But once he starts going towards the ball, I think he takes no chances, the assistant. He got fortunate. He had 2 offside goals against Bayern Munich. They were offside.
They want to hope they ain't used up their luck in these 2 games.
Well, that's exactly it. He was offside against Bayern Munich, and I thought that was offside. I mean, we'll beg to differ, that's fine. But I thought he was fortunate again.
What do Atletico do? They're not a side that can throw caution to the wind, are they? It's not how they play.
They done it earlier in the season, and they got undone a few times, and they got put out of the title race. And I think here he tried to go to get a goal. He kept 2 up top most of the game. Normally they have Griezmann, almost all 11 players in their own half. They really done that tonight, and I think that was their undoing. They got overrun in midfield. And I think Modric, Toni Kroos, as you mentioned, but Isco popping up in great positions and really creating that extra overload.
Yes, he's done it again, another hat-trick, and Real Madrid are actually saying that's 400 goals he's scored for the club, but there is an element of doubt about one. So officially they're saying it's 399, but knowing Cristiano, he'll get the other one. It's 400. So Messi 500, Ronaldo 400. It's getting silly, isn't it?
No, it's silly, really. They shouldn't even like. It's like Roy the Rover stuff just coming to life, and I mean, these guys are just coming out, breaking records week in, week out. And when they retire, I think they're going to put even more into the stratosphere, where we look at them and go, wow, superhuman achievements.
We talked about other chances that Real Madrid had in the game, and I suppose when they look at Ronaldo, they must feel that they're just not capable of performing at the same level.
No, Real Madrid started the game really well, didn't they? They were quick. This is Modric, Dani Carvajal playing a 1-2 with Isco. Good save by Oblak, but he pushes it out to Benzema, and again goes wide. This is a Rafa Varane chance. Again, another save by Oblak, but it's up to Ronaldo, isn't it, to break the deadlock most of the time.
This was a pepper in the goal, the area with crosses, and Atletico didn't have no idea. They looked scared to me. They looked fearful. They looked like didn't really have the belief that they could actually win this game or even take anything away from this game for the second leg, and they just got undone by a sheer brilliance.
That would have been special, wouldn't it?
This is a beautiful Cruyff. He sends him out of the stadium. Get out. Unbelievable from the young lad. The 2 young subs that came on done really well.
I think that was another big thing today. Zinedine Zidane's substitutions all made an impact, didn't they? All got involved in the game, all made an impact. And on the other side, Fernando Torres, who came on, Gaetan, who came on, but didn't offer anything.
That's the crosses. You talked about it before the game, Rio, that you think they're a little bit weak on crosses, and you were proved right, I have to say.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Zinedine Zidane before the game and told him, no, really.
I showed him the video that before.
But I think Atletico have always been strong down the spine of their team, and they prefer you to go wide. Normally they get out there and defend 2v1. They didn't today, and when you get time, as we showed you before the game, you can create chances against this team and score goals, and today was their undoing.
A lot of very impressive performances from the Real Madrid players. You talked about Cruz was terrific, but Isco as well, who's been playing really well in Bale's place in recently.
Yeah, and I think hopefully it's not too worrying for Bale, but this guy's just different in the way he plays. He likes to come inside, he likes to roam around the pitch and create the extra man in midfield, and I think Toni Kroos, Casemiro and Modric will be so thankful that he plays in this position, because he does pop up and create an extra man, the overload that the Atletico team couldn't get near him at all, and when he gets into attacking positions, he's got the ability to go past players and create chances.
What I like, Rio, is the fact that none of them play in a certain position, as in Ronaldo will pop up on the right or the left, but wherever Ronaldo goes, Isco will go the other side, or Modric will fill in. So you can't necessarily just go and mark somebody, and they just bamboozle them, the defence today. They're looking round, and there's always a spare man for Real Madrid, whether it was Modric, whether it was Isco, who I thought, as you said, was excellent, or Ronaldo will come into space. So there was a spare white shirt all the time.
There's nothing worse than when you're playing and you think, right, you're meant to be playing wide right, and you're meant to be playing wide left, and the midfielder, you're in your set positions, then they just pop up in different positions.
Flexibility, fluidity.
Exactly. You start thinking, hold on, how are we going to pick him up? And you start asking questions, looking at each other, thinking, why aren't you marking these guys? But there you go, he's influenced there. 79 touches, not one place dominant all over the park.
Gareth Bale, they reckon he's about 3 weeks at least away from full fitness. Would he, if you were him, would you be a bit concerned about your place in this team, or is he?
Well, I think the politics at Real Madrid will suggest that if Gareth's fit, he'll play. But you have to be slightly concerned now, because this was a dominant performance and one of the best performances that I've seen. The way they performed and the way they managed the game and won really easily. Isco played great. He comes off. Asensio comes on. Is great. So you know, and of course they're all Spanish, which will help their cause. So Gareth has to get back, and he has to get back quick, and he has to play a number of games before the final.
Stay fit.
Has to stay fit before the
I think
final.
it's a great problem for Zinedine Zidane. They're the problems you want. Who do you pick? Not where are my players? I can't find any. They've got an abundance of talent here, and they're all coming on and having influence in the game, which is great.
You can rely on all of them, can't you? All of them, you know, they'll come on and do a great
Good
job.
point. As for Atletico, they had to score, especially once Real Madrid got a couple. Had to score an away goal. They haven't managed it. They had opportunities primarily in the first half.
Yeah, this is a great weight pass from Koke, but the goalkeeper here, that's as good as a goal, because at the game time there is 1-0. And they're right back in the game, and this is a fantastic save. The vision on this pass, the weight of the pass here, comes to him. Beautiful weight.
He had to score, didn't he? His first touch. His first touch
at least get it away from the keeper, so he forces you to bring him down.
I mean, again,
this was clever from Griezmann.
Yeah, anything could Diego Godin could have done anything, but actually he just hits it. His contact is too good, if that makes sense. He could have hit it into the ground, it would have been in the back of the net. Could have hit it across goal and someone would have had a tap in. But when you're saying that is it, that is it. Second half there was nothing. There was a 20 yards header from Godin. I think it was the only effort on target. You need more if you're going to try and get through to the final.
The only thing that could have gone against Real Madrid, there was a Ramos elbow that was early in the game.
That's not a surprise, is it?
First half.
He's always involved.
They're talking about a possibility of retrospective action, because there he goes, Bosch, straight at the back of his head. What do you think?
I think no. I think he's got his eye on the ball.
No?
Yeah.
That's
He
elbow.
definitely hits him on the back of the head. Yeah, but there was so much going on in the penalty area. Whether they'll retrospectively ban him for the final.
That's the only thing that's the only thing, the negative that he goes against Ramos. He's a commanding centre half, and he just does silly things sometimes. He got sent off in the Clasico before as well. So. Shame.
He can be a liability at times, can't he? He has to be careful. 22 red cards. I mean, that says it all.
It's a great collection.
That says it all.
It's a great. Let's pop down there somewhere and hear from Toni Kroos. He's with Reshmin Chowdhury.
Tony, an incredible result for Real Madrid today. Is that the best result you can take away from tonight?
Well, it's a very good result. Of course, it's always possible to have a better one. So, no, but I think it's much more than we expected, and great game, great result, but just first leg.
Of course. Atletico normally so strong in defence. They've only conceded 5 goals in their last 13 games. You scored 3 against them today. Do you think they just had an off day, or were you too much for them tonight?
I don't know. I think we had a very good day. I think we had a good tactic. We had always one more player in midfield. We played with 4 in the middle today. Normally we play with 3 and 3 in the front. But I think it was a good key to have one more player in the middle. We controlled the game. We had a very good defense, and we were able to pass the ball in these difficult or dangerous areas. So I think we did very well. So we deserved the result, but next week we have to go to Calderon, and it's always difficult there.
As you say, it was, the team played very well, but let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. 42 hat-tricks now for this club. Now that he's got his scoring boots on, he just cannot stop scoring. What can you say about a player like that and the difference he makes in these big games?
Yeah, of course, it's it's great to have a player like him, because you can play good in defense, you can control the midfield, but at the end you need a player that score to get the result. So and he did. He scored 5 of 6 goals in the quarterfinal, and today 3. So yeah, it's unbelievable and very important for us, of course.
I know Ronaldo banged in the goals, but he was sensational as well today.
Yeah, he showed you how to make the right decision at the right time, picking the right pass. He was as comfortable playing a 5-yard ball as he was as a 35, 40-yard ball. And his touch and awareness of people around him and his game management, spot on.
They never get phased, do they? When you see him play, or Modric, they get closed down, they just drop a shoulder, they turn out, they outside of the foot, inside of the foot. You can give them the ball when they're marked, and they're so comfortable on it, and more importantly, so confident. Yeah. You see them hitting passes today, and you don't see them in the Premier League. People look up and you think, have I got the confidence to play that? They have. They just fizz balls through. I thought they were brilliant. He could play with his slippers on, Toni Kroos. He was that good today.
I think Real Madrid will be the first team to defend it in the modern form, the Champions League form.
In this form,
yeah.
I've always said no, actually, but in this form and the way they're playing, it's going to take a really good team to beat them. They look really strong.
The other 2 sides in the other semi-final that we'll be watching tomorrow night, Rio, are very good teams.
Yeah, 2 contrasting styles, as you mentioned before. A young, vibrant Monaco side who cross the ball, score goals at will, with a young, fearless striker.
Do you think Juve will be too canny for them?
I think the experience will be telling tomorrow. I think this Juve side with Buffon behind, guiding 2 very experienced centre-halves, I don't think that this Monaco team will be able to get past this Juventus side.
What do you think, Steve?
I'm the same. The Monaco team that I saw certainly in the first leg against Manchester City, I don't think that team can beat Juventus. I've got a soft spot for Juve. I like the manager, and with, as Rio just said, with Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, I'd like them to get to the final and try and do something special.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to that game. I think it really will be very special. Monaco, great going forward. Juventus, brilliant defenders. We're just about out of time. Steve, thanks very much indeed. Rio, we'll be going back tomorrow. Then you're going to Celta Vigo on Thursday. You're all over the place.
Got my rucksack with me.
But that's it from us, from the Ronaldo show indeed. Good night.